2022 is officially in the books, and the final game of that happened today as the Blackhawks lose 4-1 to the Columbus Blue Jackets. As we know by being Blackhawk fans this year, 2022 has sucked. From trading away DeBrincat, trading away Doc, trading away a lot of pieces, and the rebuild officially started. The Hawks, yes, losing a tank-off game to the Columbus Blue Jackets because the Hawks are currently sitting at 32nd in the NHL and the Blue Jackets at 31st in the NHL. This was I guess, a helpful loss for Connor Bedard standings-wise, but it still sucks to see zero urgency by the Chicago Blackhawks today. This was honestly one of the worst efforts I've seen the Hawks put out on the ice all season. And this team has had terrible games all year. And the lack of urgency and trying to fight to try and play against a team, you have a chance in winning because you beat just a week ago. This was honestly a terrible effort, terrible urgency, and lack of. It was just a bad game from everyone on ice. Alex Stalock was the only one to show up today for your Chicago Blackhawks. Steph Jones was terrible in his first game back in Columbus since getting traded, because last year he couldn't play in that game in Columbus because of COVID protocol. But today, Hawks were just flat out horrendous. They left their urgency clearly in the hotel and ready to fly back to Chicago for tomorrow night's game on New Year's Day. So let's get into the stats of the game, shall we? Because this kind of shows it. First, the shots on net, 27-38 in favor for the Blue Jackets. The Jackets at one point were outchancing the Hawks in the second period alone, 16-2. That's not good. Face-offs, 60% to the Hawks, 40% to the Blue Jackets. Power play, the Hawks were horrendous. They were garbage. They went 0 for 5 and gave up 2 shorthanded goals. The Blue Jackets went 1 for 3 on the power play, and that's the game. The Hawks were just horrendous on the special teams and couldn't get anything going. Their urgency was not there. This was a game that the Hawks were just, honestly, the worst I've seen all season. So shots per period, 9-15 in favor for the Jackets in the first, 5-14 for the Jackets in the second, 13-9 for the Hawks in the third, and that's it. But the Hawks outshoot the Jackets in the third period, but it doesn't matter because the Hawks weren't able to find the back of the net in the third period. In fact, the Hawks actually scored first in this game. Here we go. Let's get into the goals of the game, shall we? It took 11 minutes into the game, the Hawks get on the board. At 11:33 in the first period, scored by Austin to see you, his 8th of the season, assisted by Isaac Phillips and Sam Lafferty. Phillips steals the puck and gets it to Lafferty. Lafferty gets it back to Phillips, and Phillips goes down to after the CU, and after the CU beats Korpisalo with a beautiful snipe. Hawks lead 1-0. That's something new. The Hawks usually, when they score first, they actually play a tighter game. Well, that didn't happen. The Hawks were flat out garbage, and here we go. The Jackets continue to press the Hawks, and well, Steph Jones was sent to the box twice in this first period of play alone. And well, his second time to the box, he costs the Hawks a power play goal against. At 18:40 in the first period, Emil Benstrom scores his 4th of the season, assisted by Gaudreau and Adam Boqvist, to make it 1-1 in the first period alone. We're tied up. The Jackets tie the Hawks again, and because Steph Jones takes a stupid penalty. Hawks go to the penalty kill and allow a power play goal. Momentum Blue Jackets with just under 2 minutes of play remaining in the first period. Take that to the second period, and well, the Hawks have a power play. They had 2 power plays to start the second period, back to back. 4 minutes on the power play, technically, but they weren't able to do anything. They had 1 shot on both power plays, and the Jackets were able to control and get a shorthanded goal at 3:50 in the second period. Gustav Nyquist with his first of the night, 7th of the season, assisted by Jack Roslovic, short-handed, and well, the Hawks had 0 back check. Max Domi's back-checking effort to get back was horrendous. Steph Jones didn't even seem to attempt to make a defensive play. It leads to a 2-1 lead for the Jackets, and momentum continued. The Jackets were playing the Hawks stuck in the defensive zone from there on. The Hawks weren't able to get anything rolling, and well, with a few minutes later on, the Hawks get an opportunity, don't do anything with it, and the Jackets, with the final 3 seconds of play, after the Hawks had their 3rd power play of the period, the Jackets come down the ice, basically getting their own power play because the Hawks only put 4 players out on the ice. And well, with 3 seconds remaining in the second period, Marchenko scores his 3rd of the season, assisted by Gaudreau. And well, it's 3-1 Blue Jackets. Hawks' effort was horrendous. The Hawks don't do anything when it comes to the special teams tonight. It cost them this game. The special teams had nothing to go for themselves. They were horrendous, and it cost them a shorthanded goal, another shorthanded goal to come, and a power play goal against. So we go to the 3rd period of play. Hawks couldn't get much going. They had the shots, but those shots were one and done. And well, Hawks get a late power play. They pull Alex Stalock to go 6-on-4 on the power play. And they give up a shorthanded empty net goal by Gustav Nyquist for his 8th of the season, assisted by Corelli at 19:21 in the 3rd period. It's a 4-1 win for the Blue Jackets. It's a terrible, I mean absolutely god-awful performance by the Chicago Blackhawks with 0 urgency on ice. This was a rough game to watch. It felt like it was taking forever how long the Hawks were not doing anything, it seemed like, tonight. Smart. The Hawks could not get anything going in today's game. If I've said tonight a couple of times, it's because those things always screw up when a game should be at night in hockey, not during the day. Speaking of which, the Hawks suck at early start games. They've always have, and it continues tonight. So down in the comments down below, I want to hear what your thoughts were on tonight's performance and what your favorite moment of the 2022 calendar year for the Chicago Blackhawks were, because it's going to be very difficult to say. Mine would be have to be either going to the Marian Hossa banner raising ceremony or even going to Pat Foley's final call. I got to be at the Pat Foley game last year for his final game, and I also would have to say the Marian Hossa for sure was probably the top. Just let me know what your favorite moment was from the 2022 calendar year, but thank you for watching the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and most of all, Happy New Year. But this was another tank game by the Hawks, and they couldn't do anything with it. And thank you for watching again, and let's go Hawks.